Are you struggling to understand the responsibilities of each position? Maybe this makes it hard for you to understand what opposing players are trying to do on the field. Or maybe you're trying to figure out which position you want to play, but you don't know the difference between, say, a defensive midfielder and a box-to-box midfielder, or a left winger and a striker. Well, we're going to fix that. In this video, we're going to break down each position by giving you each position's name, the number that's associated with it, and the main responsibilities you'll have in each role. After watching this video, you'll understand exactly what you need to do no matter what position you decide to play. And lastly, we'll give you the names of a couple of professional players in each position that you can watch to get an idea of how the pros do it. So let's get into it. Now, each team has 11 players on the field, set up in a formation. The two formations we're going to use when describing these positions are a 4-4-2 and a 4-3-3. A 4-4-2 means there will be 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 strikers. A 4-3-3 means there will be 4 defenders, 3 central midfielders, and 3 attacking players consisting of 2 wingers and 1 striker. The goalkeeper is never included when naming a formation. It's simply understood that the goalkeeper will always be there. So let's start with the goalkeeper. A goalkeeper's main job is to stop the opposing team from scoring. Now, goalkeepers are the only players that can use their hands throughout the entire game. However, they can only use them when they're inside the penalty area. You have to have quick reflexes to react to shots or other attempts to score. Now, back in the day, keepers could rely on just being good with their hands. But in today's game, keepers are expected to be good with their feet as well. You should be confident in your first touch when receiving a pass from a teammate, and it would be good to have 1 or 2 dribbling moves up your sleeve as well in case you're being closed down by an opposing player. The best goalkeepers are not only good at stopping goals, they can help create them as well. A good keeper is able to get the ball to their teammates when there is an opportunity to quickly transition from defense to offense. Being able to accurately and effectively distribute the ball can help your team catch the opposition off guard. And lastly, the best goalkeepers don't just worry about their own position, but also that of the entire defense. Effective communication can be the difference between your team winning and losing. Now let's move on to center backs, or central defenders as they're often called. This is a huge position for any team, as center backs are the anchors of the defense. Central defenders need to be skilled at making well-timed and effective tackles to dispossess opponents and regain possession for their team. You're also responsible for marking and pressuring opposing forwards to prevent them from receiving passes or creating goal-scoring opportunities. Good center backs can read the game well to anticipate the movements of opposing attackers. This will enable you to make interceptions and cut off passes. You must remain calm under pressure. Whether it's dealing with a quick counterattack or facing a skilled attacker in a 1v1 situation, composure is key. Center backs often have to win headers against opposing players. For example, when dealing with incoming crosses or during set-piece situations like corners and free kicks. And this skill can also be utilized on the offensive end as well. Some center backs are scoring threats, especially when their team has a corner or a dangerous free kick near the opponent's penalty area. Center backs are increasingly expected to be comfortable on the ball and capable of initiating attacks. This includes short passes to their center midfielders to start building up play from the back, long passes to players on the wing to switch the point of attack, and sometimes carrying the ball forward themselves. A good center back will be comfortable with the ball at their feet. And lastly, center backs often serve as leaders, organizing and communicating with teammates to ensure everyone is in the right position. So center backs need to have a full understanding of their team's tactical setup. Now for the outside backs. Outside backs are versatile players who contribute both defensively and offensively. Their ability to balance these responsibilities is crucial to a team's overall success. Outside backs are often tasked with marking the opposing team's wingers, who are frequently that team's best dribblers. This responsibility includes 1v1 defending and preventing those wingers from receiving passes, making crosses, or creating goal-scoring opportunities. You'll need to really work on your 1v1 defending in order to take the ball off your opponents and regain possession for your team. Successful outside backs will know when to push forward to support the attack and when to stay back to maintain the team's defensive shape. Now, one of the primary offensive responsibilities of outside backs is to make overlapping runs beyond the team's wingers. In these situations, good outside backs will be able to deliver accurate crosses to create goal-scoring opportunities for their teammates. They contribute to the team's attacking play by providing passing options, making overlapping runs, and combining with the wingers, central midfielders, and strikers. And now, let's go over defensive midfielders, also called central defensive midfielders or CDMs. CDMs provide a link between the defense and the midfield. They help to solidify a team's defensive structure. Defensive midfielders act as a shield for the defense, positioning themselves in front of the back line to prevent opponents from advancing through central areas. CDMs need to read the game effectively, anticipating the movements of opponents and making timely tackles or interceptions to break plays up before they become dangerous. They are crucial in cutting off passing lanes and winning back possession for their team, working closely with the center backs to provide cover and support. Defensive midfielders need to be disciplined in their positioning. This helps to prevent gaps in the defensive line. They must have a great first touch so that they don't lose the ball in dangerous positions when receiving passes from their center backs or outside backs. And while their primary focus is on defending, defensive midfielders are also involved in distributing the ball to initiate attacks. They should be comfortable with short and long passes. They can initiate counterattacks by distributing the ball effectively, but must always be available to provide stability during defensive transitions. And effective communication is essential for defensive midfielders. They need to instruct teammates and coordinate with other midfielders to maintain the team's shape. Now, if you want a full breakdown on why your first touch is the most important skill to develop, then check out my playlist called First Touch Made Easy, which goes over what a first touch is, why it's so important, and we give you different drills you can do to improve it. Now, let's talk about the general central midfielder, also called the box-to-box midfielder. Unlike defensive midfielders that have a more defensive focus and are not as involved in the attacking third of the field, the central midfielder splits their responsibilities between defense and offense pretty evenly. They're often referred to as a box-to-box midfielder because they cover such a large part of the field, from their defensive 18-yard box to the attacking 18-yard box. These players are known for their versatility. They help to link defense and attack and provide support in both areas. Central midfielders are technically very good on the ball and must have a great first touch so that they do not lose the ball in dangerous positions when receiving passes from their teammates. They must be able to scan over their shoulder before receiving the ball so that they know if opposing players are coming to close them down. And they also must be able to turn with the ball in as few touches as possible to evade their opponents. Now, the best central midfielders are able to shoot with power and accuracy very well, and they're a scoring threat whenever they get in shooting range. The battle between opposing central midfielders can determine the outcome of a match because these players can dictate the pace and flow of the game. So if you want to play with that added responsibility on your shoulders, then this might be the position for you. And now for the attacking midfielder. The attacking midfielder, also known as the number 10, is a creative playmaker who typically, but not always, operates in the central areas of the pitch behind the strikers. One of the primary roles of attacking midfielders is to provide creativity and vision in the final third of the pitch. They have the responsibility to exploit defensive vulnerabilities by making defense-splitting passes to set their teammates up to score or by scoring themselves. These players have a very high technical ability and use their creativity to surprise the opposition by dribbling, passing, or shooting. Attacking midfielders are expected to score goals by taking shots from outside the box, making runs into the penalty area to finish off chances, or by combining with their teammates to open up the opposing defense. They are the link between the midfield and the strikers. They often position themselves between the lines, which is between the opposing team's midfield players and defenders. Here, attacking midfielders are in a very dangerous position, where they can use their high technical ability to turn with the ball and decide whether to shoot themselves or to play a teammate in on goal. Number 10 sometimes don't have a set position. You may see this player start the game in one area of the field, but end up somewhere completely different throughout the match. They are often given license to roam in order to find space on the field where they feel they can best hurt the opposition. They make intelligent runs, drift into pockets of space, and constantly adjust their position to receive the ball in dangerous areas. Wingers or outside midfielders are another crucial offensive outlet for any team. Wingers are generally positioned out wide near the touchline to stretch the opposition's defense and create space that their teammates can exploit. Now, back in the day, wingers were primarily known for their dribbling and crossing ability, and not as much for being a goal threat themselves. But while today's wingers still need to be able to provide assists with their crosses, they're also responsible for scoring goals by cutting in from the wing and shooting. They can provide assists or score goals by winning 1v1s against the opposing outside back, using their pace to get down the wing in transition, or by running in behind the defense and receiving through balls from their teammates. Wide players are generally very good dribblers and are very good at 1v1 situations. Now, most wingers don't just focus on the offensive part of the game. Wide players will generally have to track back and help their teams out on defense as well. Because of that, playing on the wing requires you to have very good stamina, as you need to be able to get up and down the field throughout the game. And finally, the strikers. These are the players responsible for scoring goals. They are expected to be clinical finishers from inside and outside the penalty area. They need to capitalize on goal-scoring opportunities created by their teammates, such as by anticipating crosses from wide areas or through balls from midfielders. They have to position themselves to get on the end of these deliveries and convert them into goals. And the best strikers are able to create goals themselves if they need to. Now, there are different types of strikers. For instance, some are better at holding the ball up, and this keeps possession for your team and slows the game down to allow your teammates to join the attack, while others are better at running in behind the opposing defense so that their team can attack quickly on the counter and play them through on goal. Now, while strikers are most known for scoring goals, they also act as their team's first line of defense. When strikers apply consistent pressure to the other team's defenders and defensive midfielders, they can prevent the other team from building up from the back, which can lead to mistakes from the opposition and additional goal-scoring opportunities. Strikers also need to be able to combine with their teammates and build up play. Strikers link up with their teammates in the attacking third of the pitch, combining with midfielders and wingers to create goal-scoring opportunities. They participate in passing combinations, 1-2s, and layoffs to help them or their teammates score. And there you have it. That's a breakdown on every position on the pitch, so you understand what you need to do in each role and what position you may want to play. If you enjoyed this or any of our other videos, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any other skills tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. This is Footy Made Easy, and we'll see you next time.